I can't see the wood for the trees. I think I've been looking at the bigger problem without looking at the smaller solutions. This fire is scaring me. The Knysna Fires in 2017 happened so close to home that it scared me into action. I had to stop being overwhelmed by all of this and just start with small steps. I knew I had to start where it mattered the most, and that was right around the house. I had to get rid of all these wattles, so if any fire came through, there was far less chance of it burning the house down. So that was my plan. Here we're using the Jeep to pull the tree away from the neighbor's fence so we don't damage it. I'd cut all the trees down, and that was the exciting part. But then one thing I didn't realize is that once you cut the tree down, you've now got to cut the tree up. The easy part, the exciting part, is cutting it down. The rest of it is actually quite hard work. You've got to cut all the branches off, and then you've got to cut the tree up, and then you've got to pluck the branches. So yeah, it takes a bit of time. Right, so I got the wattle away, which was right by the house. Then the next step was to get the wattle and all the brush away from behind the shed. I learned that you got to choose a perimeter, choose a section, and then just focus on that section and kind of have a purpose for why you want to cut that section. So for this section, I'd wanted to start an orchid area. We cut all the brush away. Stacking the brush like this kind of served a few purposes. We'd have to burn it or compost it. And then the plan was to create the orchid in between the hedges. Okay, the next section that I tackled was here. And full disclosure, when I say I tackled, I mean the local woodcutters. Some of the guys that approached me to ask if they could cut the trees down and they would sell it as firewood. So it seemed like a win-win situation to me. They would cut it down, they would take away the firewood, and I would have a clear land. So that's what I did. This was all grassland when we bought the property, and I remember my daughter at 2 years old running through the grass, and I was just thinking, oh God, there's going to be snakes. And there are plenty of snakes here. I did have to pack all the branches up in piles like that, and then I decided I'd get a wood chipper in. It's pretty expensive to hire them for the day, but as with everything the first time when you're doing it off-grid, you kind of get excited by it and you think, okay, cool, now I've got wood chip, I'm going to use it as pathways, I'm going to use it as compost. So I think we did 1 day of wood chipping here, 1 or 2 days, I can't remember. We had cleared that section, the other section there, and with some other intermittent clearing all over the place, I'd cleared around about a quarter of the property. There is a government utility power line right next to this tree, so we had to climb up with a ladder, tie the rope, and then use that same trick with a car to pull it. I did use poison on these large stumps, focusing on the bark, because that's like the blood vessels of the tree. You don't need to poison the wood. And obviously, I had a lot of wood after cutting these trees down, which is a score. The area in the red we cleared, but I don't have any footage of that.
It's actually quite magnificent.
And then the area in the yellow is where I started the process of thinning and not clear felling. Every other section was just clear felled. We cut everything down and then there was 0 wattles left. I learnt a lot from Hanno, from the Tree Whisperer, while I did an interview with him.
If we do clear felling without any poison, then most likely a year later it will be a bigger infestation. The black wattle seeds is unfortunately viable in the soil for up to 100 years. That being said, it is very easy. As soon as we create a disturbance, they are pioneering trees. They do want to cover the soil. They want to make sure there's shade on the soil.
So you can see some sort of footprints, either horses or cars. And what that does is disturb the soil, and then all the wattle starts coming up.
A method that I really enjoy and think is very successful is thinning out instead of clear felling, meaning we leave some of the canopy cover of the wattles around just to keep the re-emergence of the wattles out again. A good way for us to do that is to do thinning and thinning and thinning and removing the density of them, getting the stems per hectare less, and then slowly but surely removing the last ones if it's not there for a resource or a usable situation, and if there's a lot of indigenous vegetation that is trying to compete with it, then it's always good to remove the exotics.
These trees have been cut up and it's firewood, so it's been drying for about 8 months. All the branches are stacked up there. I'm going to let them dry and then try and turn them into biochar. And here you can see the difference between what's been cut and what hasn't been cut. So on the right hand side it's been cut, on the left hand side you can see it hasn't been cut. That's the density difference. After I'd cut the trees down in each section, I started to plant some indigenous trees. At the house I planted Cape Ash, Cape Beech and Roy Ulse. Then in the area previously known as Mordor, so I planted Keurbooms, Yellowwoods, also Cape Ash, and also some Cape Beech. The Keurbooms are a pioneer tree, so you want to get them in the ground, and they're very hardy and they're fast growing, so they'll cover the soil quick. Obviously the Yellowwoods are going to take much longer to grow, but they're a beautiful tree, so into the ground they went. This is one of the Cape Ashes that I planted. And this is one of the Keurbooms. That's what it is. Over there we have a Yellowwood. And back there we have a Yellowwood. And there's more around. So it's looking good. Thank you for watching, and if you did enjoy what you saw, you can like and subscribe, because that would really help. Actually, every like and every subscription is like a real boost. You kind of like think, cool man, someone's watching. Because you can imagine what it's like to film everything and then to edit everything on top of that while you're still going to be doing like farm work. So it's a real boost if you just like and subscribe. So please go ahead and do it. Thank you so much.